Hi there. This is Jean Marie Naylor with a brief presentation about my experience at the virtual 2021 California Library Association Annual Conference titled Renaissance, the Library Renewal. There were many presentations and workshops to choose from each day. My full chosen schedule listed on this slide. When I had a free period of time, I either took a break or watched the various vendor pre-recorded sessions. While all of the presentations were interesting, three main themes stood out to me: adapting programs to meet patron needs, improving accessibility, and LGBTQIA. Adapting programs to meet patron needs session, the main focus was on story times and how different libraries continued to offer this basic library program even through COVID-19. Ideas included PJ Storytime, Tailgate Storytime, Dial-A Story, and Special Guest Storytime. Virtual PJ Storytime was a big hit because everyone could be safely snuggled at home and ready for bed during the story time without having to wake sleeping children or carry them back to the car when the story time was over. Tailgate Storytime was a way to meet in person while still maintaining social distancing. Dial-A Story was a recorded story on one of the answering machines so that those who have a phone but maybe not internet at home could listen to a story whenever they chose. Each week, a new story would replace the old one. Special Guest Storytime was a virtual event where a member of the community, like a fire chief or mayor, etc., would read the story, often relating it to what they do. The Improving Accessibility session contained a lot of good ideas to cater to many different disabilities, with the notion that everyone has disabilities, but that some are just more observed than others. But the main ideas that blew me away were those involving online accessibility. It never occurred to me that websites could be read out loud using various programs, and that the data behind the scenes could actually hinder how that turns out. Imagine how you would caption a photograph. What alt text is actually necessary to include for the image to make sense, and what is just annoying filler. Is the image necessary at all? When you create a hyperlink, the text should convey where the link connects you, but usually not the entire web address, as that would be tedious in many cases. Those are just a couple of examples. As for LGBTQIA sessions, there were many. I attended 3, one of them being a panel discussion. The combined sessions covered several topics. A basic topic is that non-binary is not just about bending gender, him, her, but also about many other things such as young, old, rich, poor, educated, non-educated. In general, non-binary is about ridding ourselves of having to fit into a category that we just don't fit into. Another topic that was discussed is that libraries using LGBTQIA materials in displays, which is fine, but neglect to treat them as just everyday books to recommend. A romance is a romance with the same tropes no matter who or what the characters may be. In addition to that topic is the topic of reader's advisory in general, and how we should pay closer attention to our patrons' personalities and listen better to their stories so we don't accidentally suggest materials that could cause mental harm to them personally. I know that sounds almost impossible to do for every patron, but we can use the interviewing process to gauge what we can and err on the safe side when in doubt. Overall, this conference was worth the time to attend as it brought a lot of things to my attention. 3 main takeaways from the conference as a whole that stuck in my mind were: virtual has pros and cons, but was very much worth it. A lot of libraries are dealing with the craziness of today in similar ways, while still adapting ideas to fit the needs of their specific communities. And nothing stopped. Libraries are still moving forward with the mission of providing information and programs for their patrons. It's only the methods that have changed. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions for me, you can always email me at jmnaylor@carson.org. Thank you.